And Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. I promise. I'm going to hand this over, and I'm going to take it back in a minute, but I'm going to hand this over to our Director of Veterans Affairs. And I'm proud to say, with cooperation with my colleagues on the legislature, for the first time in Putnam County, we're going to have a full-time Director of Veterans Affairs. And who better than Carl Rody to lead us off?
I'm very proud to take the job, but what we wanted to talk about here, you saw the display out front.
Make sure that mic is up.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. He was a Verizon guy.
That actually pays my pension here. There are a lot of guys and girls that are in the service now, and they're overseas. And one of the worst things when you're overseas is thinking, especially in a war zone, Art and I can talk about that, Sheriff Smith can talk about that, is thinking that Roger, being forgotten, people not knowing that you're overseas, and that's very difficult thing to handle. But I just want to tell you before we get into that a little bit more, the couple projects that we're doing right now. In September, there's going to be the moving wall here again. This is the third time it's going to be in the county, the Vietnam Veterans moving wall. And we're also in the process, we're going to be putting in because we are the first Purple Heart county in the state of New York, and we are going to be putting in, and we've ordered it already, a Purple Heart monument. So we will be putting one in over at the park. You pick up a copy of the newsletter if you want to read it. If you want to get on the newsletter, we get it mailed. It comes out several times a year. Well, at least was it 15 times this year. So again, it has a lot of information to pass along to veterans. But don't forget the guys overseas. Don't forget the guys that are serving our nation and are guarding the gates of freedom. Those are people that we have to be concerned about. And then when they get back, then my office is one we can be concerned about the guys that come back and help them with what they need. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Christmas. This is our family, my deputy director. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Carl. It should be noted that Carl served two tours, and one tour, but is the Silver Star recipient who serves our country honorably in Army. My dad is Army too. So I clearly love our veterans, and I started working with our veterans well before I even entered into this arena of politics. And I did it because I was taught that if it wasn't for the sacrifice and the service of not only our men and women but their families, none of us would be able to enjoy the freedoms and the fellowship, and it was very important to my family that we honor and recognize our veterans. So when I had the platform, I took full advantage of it, and it was several years ago, too many to even remember now, that I became attached to these guys, and once I got attached to them, they couldn't shake me loose no matter what.
She's an honorary veteran.
Yeah, and I did receive that because we are also the first National Gold Star Mothers Home right here in Putnam County. So we have an awful lot to be proud of. In the season of giving, I have many thoughts, and they always all go back to our veterans. And I met a couple of months ago this very dynamic gentleman and his wife Patty, who started this group called United for the Troops right here in Putnam County. And it's now a national organization, and it's all about making sure that our troops, as Carl so eloquently said, that they know that there's people that care and remember them and are thinking about them on our holidays, on Hanukkah, on Christmas, on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Whenever we celebrate here in America, it's so important that we let them know that we're thanking them and that we're remembering them and that we honor them and that we love them. So, Jimmy, Rasmus, and Patty, where are you? Jimmy's here, where's Patty? She's out in the corner. Oh, there she is. They have this awesome organization, United for the Troops, and we really are so grateful and honored to have them here with us in Putnam County. And Jimmy's going to tell you a little bit about what they do on a national level, and then I'm going to tell you what we've been able to do here in our county on a local level. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Jimmy Rashman.
Thank you very much for your service. I appreciate it. And it's amazing how many people that I've met over the years that have served our country come back, and very little notice has been taken to them. It's not their fault, it's just the way they are. But I just want to tell you very quickly, this box is what we do. This is all we do. We find things, we get things from our community, it's all donated, and it's all things that they say that they miss most while they're overseas. And so we get our community to donate these items, we put them in this box, we put letters from teenagers, from 5-year-olds, from senior citizens that might be shut in. We put a letter on the top, Dear American Soldier. We started this 9 years ago when our son, Luke, joined the Army. We sent in some care packages. He says, you won't believe how many men and women are over here that have no one. When I say no one, they had no families, or the families couldn't afford to send them anything. Basically, they had no one. The Army or the service was their life, was their family. And so we sent over some letters asking them what they needed. And they always asked for something for somebody else, all the time. And if you heard it before, you're going to hear it again. It's the Flintstone vitamin story. They were asking for Flintstone vitamins. And we thought it was great, 110 degrees in the shade. They don't need water to swallow it, to chew it, and it was nourishing for them. It was great. We were soon humbled. You probably know they weren't asking those vitamins for themselves. They were asking them to give out to the children and to the men and women over in those countries they were serving. That's why we knew we had to continue doing what we started to do. The first year, we were able to send out 200 boxes. That was huge. Standing outside the supermarkets, outside the churches, things, our downstairs house was filled with items. And we went to the American Legion and we packed things out. This is our 9th year. This box here, not this one, well, I'd like to say it. We sent out our 10,000th box this November 29th. I use the word we a lot, and I want you to understand that it's us. When I say we, it's not just us, United for the Troops and our family, but it's all the volunteers. We had to turn people away for our packing day. We had never had to do that before. That was very difficult for us because we had no place for them to work. That's a great asset. So now the number is up to 10,276 boxes, and instead of just doing this at the holidays, we do it all year long. Again, when I say we, it's all of you people inside of this box. This is our community in these boxes. It's just not goodies. They open up this box and they find letters from kids, and they find letters from senior citizens, and everybody just wishing them well to come home. It's always the first thing they write back to us. I want to get to Mary Ellen Odell and her office. She has adopted us, as she said.
These are our numbers. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But I got to tell you what happens with the community. Mary Ellen found out about us, wanted to know what we did. She did her due diligence. Within a week, there were our red boxes in all the county buildings asking to volunteer for donations. That was Valentine's Day. We've done a number of other events with her. She also joined us for our fundraiser this year at Southside Bar.
All right, don't tell them about that, though.
She texted her whole appearance in. And with the support of people like you in this room, we literally doubled our intake of donations on that day. $7,200 in 3 hours. And I have to tell you, every dime, nobody is paid, or everybody volunteers, there's no payroll. Every dime goes to shipping and getting things together for the United States. So I want you to be aware of that. So I'm very thankful to all of you for being here tonight. We do have lovely, it's Christmas time, and there's only 6 days left, folks. So if you want to just check out some of those red, white, and blue shirts we have out there, kids' shirts, kids' hoodies, all that kind of stuff, every dime, all the profits going out to the troops. So if you feel like you want to throw some of those things in your stockings, we're going to be here. We're not running home. We're not leaving at all. I want to close it out with a letter that we get back. Now, we packed up those boxes November 29th. That was a Saturday after Thanksgiving. And the post office in Trumbo opens up for us on a Sunday and processes every one of those boxes with volunteers. So I want to recognize them. Every week, a year, within 7 or 8 days, we get a letter back. This came in at 11:49 Sunday night, the week after we did our packing, and it reads, "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Rafshman. Good morning, and United for the Troops. First of all, we thank you and your son Luke for his service. We received your care packages today, and we're overwhelmed with happiness. We thank you and those who contributed for taking the time to make such an awesome contribution to us while we're overseas. Every time I read letters from those supporting us, especially from the children, I always end up crying. Your belief in us helps us stand proud and tall while helping us remember why we are here. As you can guess, our days can be quite long and tedious. Again, thank you for your support on behalf of the 21st Combat Support Hospital, Linda A. Calasamani, SPC USA Military. These come in by the dozens. So I'm going to say thank you once again, and people thank us all the time. We have to remember to say you're welcome. There are certain people that you all know to go to. If you want to do something like this with United for the Troops, please join us. One of the biggest things that I'm able to do when we give our presentations to schools is present United for the Troops for community service. If they don't want to do community service with United for the Troops, we offer all sorts of different advantages for them. It's about getting up and doing something, getting out of their comfort zone. And these are kids. These are 7, 8-year-old kids. And I'll tell you, if a kid comes in, "Hi, Mr. Rathman, I'm here for community service. I can only spend an hour." And I say, "Okay, here you go." And it happened again on the 29th, on a Saturday. He was supposed to be picked up in an hour. We finished at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He came up to me with his papers, with his mother and father, who came to pick him up after an hour, and they stayed. So this is contagious stuff. You know, this is great stuff. I'm preaching to the choir, to many people here, and I'm happy to do that. So I can talk for a long time, please. I'm done. Thank you very much.
What are the packages? 50 years ago, where I was, in a place called Korea, my nephew got the package.
There you go. Now, Mary Ellen does this out of the goodness of her heart. I know that, you know that. But we do like to show our appreciation. And I know the first time I received something for doing this with our family and our community, it was very, very special. So we have a little presentation. It says, "From United for the Troops, Mary Ellen Odell, it is with great gratitude that we thank you again for your continued heartfelt support. Jim and Pat Rathman."
I took a hat, anyway. I'm going to take a hat instead of this one. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, what Jimmy said is so true. It's all about family. And I look around the room, and many of you are leaders. You're leaders here in our community. You're the people that entrusted you to do the right thing, and I'm honored to be a part of all of you. Many of you are just friends and colleagues and supporters. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight and supporting United for the Troops and enjoying each other's company. And hopefully we'll start off 2015 with a positive attitude. Maybe a little bit of, you know, forgetting yesterday and just thinking about tomorrow. Wouldn't that be something if we could just do that maybe? We'll put that in our stocking for Christmas. So what we've been able to do, and I have to say, I met Jimmy at an American Legion function. And then I was at the United for the Troops Gala, what was that, a month ago?
Yeah.
And if anybody who works for me knows when they hate when I say, I have an idea. And they all start tearing, they all run and dive out of the room. I said, I have an idea, let's do something. And I grabbed Jimmy and I said, we're gonna do a Stocking for Soldiers campaign. And we're gonna charge, we thought $15 was a nice easy ticket. And we've asked our employees in the county, and I want to thank all of you for supporting this quick, fast initiative. And I want to announce that with the support of our county employees, Jim, we have a check, or a cash and check, for $1,165. I don't know. Where's Carlin, divide that by what? 15, tell me how many packages the county employees are sending over. And then we have, what?
About 8.
About 8, all right, good job, Carla. So, 80, no, that's not. All right. So, we have Corinne Pitt, who's a deputy in the, our Putnam County Sheriff's Office, and she's an SRO for us, and on her own, and a girl, on her own, she went and solicited for United for the Troops on behalf of Putnam County, and she showed up at the office the other day with $825 from the Putnam County. She wouldn't have been here tonight, but she had another engagement. Today, this afternoon, I was invited to a Christmas party from the New York City Bravest, Hudson Valley East Group, Tommy Lynch, our buddies, and I spent maybe 10 minutes and walked out the door with $465 from New York City Bravest. How about that? And we've had some very generous miscellaneous donations from some of our members of our team. Tony Scanapico, who's our GOP chair, threw in $100 as he was walking out the door. And all of you tonight have added $1,000 just by being here tonight for the United for the Troops. So, Carlin, can you do the math? You paying attention? Or you're talking to Sharpie? Come on, Sharpie. So we got the legislature and the executive branch over here adding up, right? Quickly, give me a number. Come on, between the two of you. Want me to run it back again? What about, yeah, a lot. How about that? A lot. A very intelligent, a lot. So to that, I just want to say thank you to everybody, our team members. It's been a really wonderful 3 years. Our team's really jazzed and energized for another 4 years. And we're going to continue to support the great initiatives of people like Jimmy Rathschmidt and serving not only Putnam County, the great state of New York, but certainly the greatest country in the world, America. Thank you.